Federal investigators now on the scene of this nasty plane crash. An update on the one survivor, how the church plans to honor the victim, and the cleanup effort that's just beginning.
Laura Howard moved to Florida to find a new life, but someone took her life.
There's no clear motive as to why he did this, other than perhaps he's a sociopath.
All new at 6, the hunt for the man investigators call the chameleon con man.
Red tide ramps up just ahead of the holiday weekend, where you're most likely to cough along the coast.
300 gallons of gas abandoned near a boat ramp. Now it's a crime scene. How did it get there?
And weather-wise, get ready for a cooler, a drier night. Your complete forecast, including Mother's Day, coming up.
Wink News begins with breaking news.
We have breaking news off the top at 6. A child dead after a shooting this afternoon. Hello again, I'm Chris Safadi.
And I'm Lois Tomey. Another child was flown to a hospital. This is all unfolding in Clewiston right now, and that's where we find Wink News reporter Andrea Guerrero. And Andrea, how old are these kids?
So young. The child shot and killed was just 4 years old, while another child that was also shot is just 5, and he was flown by helicopter to a hospital trauma center. And how this all happened, we don't know. In the last 30 minutes, the Hendry County Sheriff's Office told me that a blue car that you should now see on your TV screen is somehow involved. The shooting happened just before 3 in a subway parking lot along Burnt Road and State Road 27. Deputies arrived here to help Clewiston police with crowd control as family and friends raced to this hospital after the shooting. The Hendry County Major Crimes Unit is now investigating how it all happened. Now, we did ask the Sheriff's Office how the shooting happened, and the answer was, quote, "It is too early to say." And of course, we're working to find out more. We have plenty of crews here trying to get that information, and we'll be sure to update you guys both on air and on our Wink News app. I'm live in Clewiston, Andrea Guerrero, Wink News Now.
Andrea, thank you. Also breaking at 6, the principal who paddled a 6-year-old student did not commit a crime. The state attorney's office completed its review. Spanking a child is not illegal in Florida. That's what the girl's mom recorded at Central Elementary School in Clewiston.
No, put your hands down. No. Now don't do it again.
Child's mother told Wink News she felt she had no choice but to record because she's undocumented. Hendry County School District policy does not allow corporal punishment. Wink News contacted the women in the video and the school district again today. None have made any public comments on this case. The state attorney's office says the 2 women in that video told investigators the mom requested that her daughter be spanked. The mom says she didn't understand. We've transcribed the entire video and posted it so you can watch the whole thing on the Wink News app.
Also breaking right now, a brush fire that scared a neighborhood is now contained. The brush fire broke out just before 4 o'clock this afternoon between the 41s in North Fort Myers. Wink News reporter Zach Oliveri is live there right now. And Zach, do you know how it started?
Lois, North Fort Myers Fire told me a guy went fishing and didn't turn off his car. Firefighters have since contained the flames and are starting to pack up and leave. The brush fire started near 1941 Pacific Avenue here in North Fort Myers. One person is hurt, but North Fort Myers Fire told me they're not sure if the injury is related to the fire. LCSO told people who live nearby they had 30 minutes to evacuate. Neighbors peppered me with questions when I got here, all wanting to know if their animals were okay.
It's very emotional, so I don't care about my belongings, I just care about my animals.
Dawn told me multiple members of her family have multiple animals, and they're still hoping to get some information on their 3 cats who are still unaccounted for. Live in North Fort Myers, Zach Oliveri, Wink News Now.
Zach, thank you. We learned the name of the man who survived a plane crash yesterday. The Hendry County Sheriff's Office says he's James Mullen. He is expected to survive. Mullen is the owner of Mullins Aviation with a location at the LaBelle Airport very close to the crash site. The plane went down at the Church of the Good Shepherd.
It is a miracle. Sadly, someone died, someone was hurt, but I believe in miracles. I mean, God was obviously watching over this little church.
We don't know the name of the person who died at this point. Cranes are now in position to begin the cleanup effort. The FAA and the NTSB are here to investigate.
Well, the search is on tonight for a suspected shooter investigators just named. Crime Stoppers says that Paul Williams opened fire at the Charleston Park Festival 2 weeks ago. Wink News was there shortly after one person got shot just off of State Road 80 in Lee County. The festival is meant to recognize people who have made a difference. Another festival shooter also remains on the run. The person who shot and killed 20-year-old Everiana Sankey at the Brown Sugar Festival near Clewiston. The Henry County Sheriff's Office has not released a name or description of that shooter.
The man behind a morning of mayhem waits another day to find out if a judge will set bail. Fort Myers police say David Dotz is the man who caused all of this commotion on Fowler Street downtown in Fort Myers on Wednesday. Police say he tried to run down an officer, causing police to fire at him. He crashed his car into the pond. You see the water on the left there. Police had to go in to rescue him. Dotz went before a judge this morning, but he didn't talk at all. The court wasn't sure why, so they pushed his hearing to tomorrow morning.
Tonight, a mysterious investigation. Who left all of these drums full of gasoline in an abandoned van? That's 300 gallons of fuel. Investigators spent hours at the Placida boat ramp today. Wink News reporter Erica Jackson is live there in Charlotte County. And Erica, do they have any leads?
Well, Lois, nothing detectives are willing to share. They spent half of today collecting evidence they hope will lead them to who owns the van and who abandoned it here with all that fuel at the Placida boat ramp.
A mystery surrounding this abandoned utility van.
It was like, wow, what's going on over here? I didn't know if somebody passed away in the van or something.
Nope, nobody died, but someone left behind lots of fuel. 20 15-gallon drums of fuel. That's 300 gallons.
It's a lot of fuel for a little van.
So I was pretty surprised. You never know what can happen in Florida.
Now the search is on for that someone who left this van and all that fuel here. Deputies say they first noticed the van just after midnight when it was pulled over on the Boca Grande Causeway along with another car. When a deputy pulled over to assist the drivers, the driver of the van took off. They later found the van abandoned, parked here at the Placida boat ramp.
It definitely raises my eyebrows. It makes me think, oh, what could this guy be doing? It could be something completely normal where he was just picking up some fuel and driving it around and something happened.
Investigators dusted for fingerprints and brought evidence back to the sheriff's office headquarters. They're working to figure out who, how, and why.
I'm just glad the sheriff's department did their job and stopped it.
And people in the area spotted the Englewood Area Fire Control District out here. That's because firefighters work to protect everyone from hazardous material. If you spotted any suspicious activity, boats, or people in the area last night, you're asked to contact the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. I'm live in Placida. Erica Jackson, Wink News. Now.
All right, thank you very much, Erica. Tomorrow, motorcycle riders will honor a father and son who both died on the same day. Family and friends will host a memorial ride for Blaine and Nick Elmer starting at the ranch in Fort Myers. The ride will go to the intersection of Skyline Boulevard and Trafalgar Parkway in Cape Coral. That's where Blaine died in a crash. Another driver ran a red light. Friends say Nick also died on Sunday from a heart attack.
Didn't pay your bill? Be prepared to have your water shut off. The city of Cape Coral says it will start cutting off service to people who are 60 days past due. That starts the first week of July. The city stopped shutoffs at the start of the pandemic when a lot of people started to lose their jobs. Now, though, businesses are reopening and hiring.
Yeah, but they're still having a hard time finding workers. Many factors can play into that. Florida Senator Marco Rubio blames the government. He says small businesses can't hire people back because the government is paying people not to go back to work. New tonight, Wink News reporter Sydney Persing tells us companies are offering big incentives to get you in the seat.
These signs are signs of the times. In downtown Fort Myers, businesses are open, ready for business. But these signs are signs of the times, too. An open business can't bring in business without employees.
It absolutely is a struggle right now.
Inside Seed and Bean Market, General Manager Stephen Shea told me he's got jobs to give, but no takers.
I don't know if it's because people are still afraid and don't want to come back out in the public spaces, or potentially from the other benefits and avenues that they have that are still helping them out while they're at home.
It's both, according to Jim Wall of CareerSource Southwest Florida. Then there's the cost of childcare to consider.
There are more jobs than there are job seekers. That's great news for the job seeker, not so good news for the businesses.
Waste Pro's been in the news for not being able to hire drivers to pick up trash in Cape Coral. The company's been offering all kinds of incentives.
I have never seen in my 30 years in this business more opportunities for job seekers.
In a survey, the National Federation of Independent Business found 44% of its member companies reported job openings they could not fill in April. That's a record high. More of the same down on sunny Fort Myers Beach.
Almost every restaurant is hiring at this point.
If anybody is interested, we're hiring for a lot of great positions.
The question is, when will any of these signs get anyone's attention? Sydney Persing, Wink News, now.
The folks at CareerSource told Sydney once local businesses hire someone, they immediately focus on keeping them. How? By increasing benefits and offering incentives.
This guy changes his look and his name in the family of a Southwest Florida murder victim, worrying that he's targeting other lonely women. Up next, tracking down the so-called chameleon con man.
And red tide rears its ugly head just in time for the holiday weekend. The new health alerts now in place, and whether we're seeing dead fish on our beaches.
And for your Saturday, mixture of sunshine and clouds, lower humidity, chance of rain for Mother's Day. I've got you covered. I'll have the Future Track model just after the break.
Back live to Clewiston, we're covering 2 children shot here. 1 died, 1 in critical condition. They're siblings, and we're learning from the Hendry County Sheriff right now that they're working this as a homicide investigation. They say it could be accidental. Too early to tell, but the Sheriff's Office is saying it is now a homicide investigation in Clewiston. We'll have more as we learn it. This man could tell you his name is Simon or Alex or something else. A chameleon con man whose real name is Robert Keene. Police have been looking for him in connection to the murder of a Fort Myers woman since 2013. Laura Howard's body was found severely decomposed in her home off of McGregor Boulevard. New tonight, Wink News investigative reporter Lauren Sweeney explains Keene may have been the last person to see her alive.
Fast friends. That's how Carol Brotherton describes her relationship with her neighbor, Laura Howard.
The lady that I knew would help anybody do anything.
Howard was new to Florida. She'd moved down from Massachusetts after a messy divorce.
The best way to explain childhood with her is magical. She made every holiday just full of wonder.
But her daughter says the most painful part of losing her mom, the reality that the man who may be responsible has been off the grid since 2013.
And it hurts to not have the finality of knowing what happened and knowing that the person is being held accountable for what happened and isn't able to continue to do this to more people.
The Fort Myers Police Department has hit so many dead ends, investigators are teaming with a national TV show to try to track down this man, Robert Keene.
If he's in a different part of the country and people don't know what he's done, he's getting away with murder.
Crime Stoppers' Trish Rout says he could be going by any number of names. To Laura Howard, he was Simon.
So his fake alias for her was Simon Storm, which is super frustrating because it sounds fake. It sounds made up.
When Simon engages you, he's going to make you feel like he's legit. Laura felt like he was legit. Laura bought into that.
But Brotherton got nervous when Howard let Simon, a stranger, live in the spare room in her house.
I told her, I said, are you sure you want to do that? I said, what do you know about him?
Turns out, not much. He told Howard he was from Canada, but records show he was born in Illinois. And he had a history of violence. By age 17, he'd deserted the Navy, stolen a boat, and tried to stab a man in Fort Lauderdale.
He changes his names very frequently, and he knows how to live off the radar.
By the early 2000s, he'd lived all over Florida. But after 2007, there are no more records for Robert Keene.
It's classic. They, have this whole fake story. They avoid photos, they avoid large gatherings, and they, kind of lurk in the background.
Days after the discovery of Howard's decomposed body in 2013, her abandoned car was found in Palm Beach County. A few months later, a break in the case. A woman in Margate told police she let a man named Alex stay with her. But when her friends asked him to see an ID, he jumped out of a window and ran off.
When he jumped out the window, never to come back, went upstairs and found a lot of Laura's personal belongings. And of course, they were like, well, who is this Laura Howard? What is he doing with this woman's documents?
The trail went cold.
And I kept looking up online and different things to see if they made any progress. And of course, there wasn't.
So Howard's friends and family are reliving the pain of what they lost in the hopes that someone, somewhere, finds Robert Keene.
The only reason we put ourselves through retelling and rehashing and reliving these experiences is for the opportunity to spread awareness and to flush him out.
Now here's another look at Robert Keene. He's short in stature. He's only about 5'5". He has brown eyes, but could have any hair color or maybe no hair at all. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-780-TIPS. Lois.
All right, thank you very much, Lauren. A health alert tonight over the red tide that's lingering along our coast. This is the new red tide map, and it's getting worse in the Collier and Lee County coasts. You see the orange dots, the medium concentrations, and all the red dots, the worst, the high concentrations in our area. The Lee County Health Department issued health alerts for Lynn Hall Beach Park on Fort Myers Beach, Lovers Key, and Bonita Springs Beach Park. Red tide can cause respiratory issues, and Chris, particularly for the most vulnerable.
Yeah, and experts say this is not really a good sign going into the rainy season. All these signs like this about red tide up. Beachgoers in Collier County have also felt some symptoms of red tide right near Vanderbilt Beach and at Barefoot Beach, but many are trying to make the best out of the Mother's Day weekend.
Is it upsetting and annoying that this happens? Yes. But do all the other things outweigh it? The conditions, the people, the friendliness of everybody? I think yes.
Health officials say if you have respiratory problems, it's better to stay home and do other activities with your mom in the air conditioning this weekend.
The algae health alert at the Davis Boat Ramp is over. The health department says the most recent testing did not detect toxins in the water and along Fort Myers shores. This was the last of 3 recent algae alerts in Lee County.
Weather-wise, as we go more and more into your Friday evening, some good news. We have some drier air coming in from the north thanks to this front, which is right now bringing some strong storms to the East Coast, but well away from us here in Southwest Florida. And if anything, our air continues to get drier. This morning, the dew point, it was in the 70s. It was sticky, it was humid. And look at the improvement. Right now, on average, we're at 58. Look at Arcadia, 43 for the dew point. That's some very dry air, and that will continue to work its way south as we go throughout your Friday night, your Saturday, and then starting about Mother's Day and into next week. That's when the humidity levels go back up, and with it, we start to see rain chances return. But hey, if you do have some Friday evening dinner time plans, it's a dry heat. That's some good news to tell you. It's still going to be hot, though, for Immokalee at 90, 85 for Port Charlotte. You do get a pretty good breeze, especially as you get closer to the beaches, as the winds are sustained at 15 to 20 and gusting higher than that. But boy, I tell you, that's a great way to enter your weekend. Every single camera that I have, nice and sunny, looking good. And because of that wind, you can see some of the wave action near Matlacha, which is currently pictured. 80 degrees at 8 o'clock, then wake-up temperatures tomorrow. 60s for many, and even some will try to dip into the 50s. 59 Lake Placid, 57 Arcadia, 59 nice and refreshing. And enjoy your Saturday morning, because we are going to start to try to return a little bit closer to normal as we hit next week. For your Saturday afternoon, mixture of sunshine and clouds, dry, breezy at times. The rain chances are pretty much at slim to none, and I'll show you that here in just 1 second. Boaters for the weekend, we're at 1 to 3 in the Gulf for Saturday, 2 to 3 on Sunday, and then actually looking very nice in the green for Tuesday and Wednesday. So here is your Saturday morning. We are going to have at least some clouds hanging around, but a good amount of sunshine mixes in as we go throughout the day. Notice how not much green, not much rain. There is a slight chance for a quick stray shower into Collier County, but even that, most won't see it, and if you do, it will be pretty quick. So Mother's Day, 68 degrees during the morning, mostly sunny with that slight bump up in humidity. By lunchtime, 87, 92 by 4 o'clock, as we will see a few isolated showers possible with that combo of sun and clouds. But for Mom, please try to do something indoors. It will be a hot one. And because of all that heat and the energy, by the second half of your Mother's Day, just plan accordingly, there will be the chance for some pop-up isolated rain. There's the Future Track model at 4 o'clock, and even into Sunday evening, your Mother's Day evening, a few of these will try to hang around as well. But the big message with Mother's Day, we have a chance for rain, but not everybody gets soaked, and it does not look to be a washout. 92 degrees for the high temperature, 91 on Monday, and more 90s. And because, remember, you saw all that green and that increase in humidity all next week, that's why we are looking at a return to daily chances for rain.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Back to that breaking news in Clewiston. 2 children shot. A 4-year-old was killed. The 5-year-old airlifted to the hospital in critical condition. We're learning now from the Hendry County Sheriff that they do not know who the gun belonged to, and they are also investigating where the parents of these 2 children were at the time of the shooting. They are siblings. They're working this as a homicide investigation, but the shooting could be accidental. It is too early to tell. We'll stay on this scene for you and bring you the newest information when we get it. Also, more breaking news. A Florida Highway Patrol trooper car involved in a crash. You see it there right by the bridge overpass there, smashed up in the front. This is at Bayshore Road, right by I-75, right at the entrance ramps to I-75, headed eastbound. That patrol car all crushed in the front of it, left lane blocked. We're working to find out if there are any injuries here.
New tonight at 11 o'clock, a mother terrified for her kid's life. She says a woman said that she was law enforcement and was going to shoot her 2-year-old at a hotel pool. While the person arrested said she was upset. New at 11.
Lots of beach plans,
Oh,
picnic
yeah.
plans with mom this weekend. How's the weather looking?
Well, it's going to be hot for Mother's Day.
Okay.
Let me revisit the Future Track model if you missed this a second ago. We have a chance of rain. It's spotty, and that includes during the afternoon, evening. Notice how not everybody gets soaked. For tomorrow, though, 90, a good-looking start, lower humidity, and then into next week, back to normal, 90s with a chance of rain.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Except at 189. CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell next on Week TV.